Hi, it's Colleen. I'm just back from a run and feeling slightly red-faced. But I wanted to share with you an experience that I had well over 20 years ago. And it was only a few years ago that I became aware of how it was actually impacting me in my day-to-day life. The awareness came, it was a couple of years ago when I was out in Parrow Shopping Centre and I passed by Hannah's shoe store. And it occurred to me that I could do with a new pair of shoes. And so as soon as I crossed over the threshold, I had this thought. It just popped into the back of my mind that said, maybe you should have Louise with you. Now, Louise is my long-suffering wife, and I thought to myself, that's an unusual thought to have. But it seemed all too familiar, especially when I was buying a new pair of shoes. And I asked myself the question, where did that come from? And my mind immediately transported me back to when I was 11 years old. I'd just arrived back home from school and my mom presented me with a brand new pair of school shoes. I thought, fantastic, because I needed a new pair of shoes for school. I opened them up and I saw that they had a wedge about 2 inches high on them. And I thought to myself, I can't wear those. They're girls' shoes. And I said to my mom, I can't wear those. They're girls' shoes. She said, they're not girls' shoes. They were in the boys' section. They were on sale. They're your new school shoes and you'll be wearing them tomorrow. I thought, there is no way on this earth that I'll be wearing a pair of girls' shoes to school. No way. Sure enough, as I'm walking to school tomorrow, I'm oddly conflicted by my new sense of height. And they were strangely comfortable. But I knew the worst was to come. The ribbing would be endless and merciless, and I wasn't wrong. All of a sudden, I was the last to be picked for games. All of a sudden, no one wanted me on their team, because how well could I perform playing in a pair of girls' shoes? One of the guys even offered to bring in a sister's dress just to complete my look. I was mortified. But one moment stands out more than the rest. When I was walking to school one morning, I was in my own head. I was so mad. I was so angry. But then I heard this group of boys behind me, and one guy piped up and said, lads, leave him alone. It's not his fault. His family are probably really poor, and that's why he has to wear his sister's shoes to school. Oh, I was so mad! And I felt there was nothing I could do. But then, suddenly, the shoes disappeared, and I was presented with a brand new, normal, ordinary pair of boys' school shoes. I didn't ask any questions until about 20 years later. When I said to my mom, I said, do you remember those school shoes that you bought me all those years ago? She broke her heart laughing. She knew exactly what I was talking about. And she said, oh yeah. I said, well, whatever happened to those? Because they just kind of disappeared. She continued to laugh and then she said, well, I was cleaning up your bedroom one afternoon and I picked up your shoes and I noticed that there was a rose indented into the soles of the shoes. So you were right. They were girls' shoes after all. I could have killed her right there and then, but she was too busy laughing, having too much of a good time at my expense. So this experience, although it happened well over 20 years ago, has kind of been plaguing me ever since. And as soon as I became aware of it, I thought there's no way that I can continue to buy normal black shoes, non-distinct, nothing that would stand out in the crowd, because that's exactly what I did all the time. In fact, I often admired people. I'd often check out people's shoes, maybe at an unconscious level, but I'd admire them for having a sense of style, having the confidence to wear some nice pair of shoes. So in that moment, I went into Hannah's and I bought myself a really nice pair of brown shoes. But it didn't stop there. No longer could I just wear plain, ordinary black socks. They had to have a bit of colour in them. And now, they have a lot of colour in them these days. So why am I sharing you this rather embarrassing story? Well, it's because I know that we've all got a pair of old shoes in our closets. And I know that those experiences that we've had, those old shoes, might still be impacting our decisions and our behaviours even today. Now sometimes it's necessary to go into the closet and just clear them out. Maybe now is the time for you to do that, because in my case, as I'm sure will be in your case, sometimes awareness is curative. Thanks folks, talk to you soon.